Imagine this. Deep in the war-torn deserts of Yemen, an elite force of American warriors drops into hostile territory. Their mission? Eliminate high-value Houthi targets and cripple their operations. But the question is, could the Houthis even stand a chance? Spoiler alert, absolutely not. And here's why. Who are the Houthi rebels? The Houthis, officially known as Ansar Allah, are a battle-hardened rebel group that emerged from the chaos of Yemen's long-running civil war. They've taken on Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and the internationally recognized Yemeni government. And with Iran supplying them weapons and intelligence, they've managed to hold their ground. But let's be clear, this is not a professional army. The Houthis rely on guerrilla tactics, crude ambushes, and outdated Soviet-era equipment. They don't fight like a modern force. They fight dirty, using IEDs, tunnel networks, and asymmetric warfare to their advantage. They are dangerous. They are relentless. But against America's most elite warriors, they wouldn't stand a chance. The U.S. Special Forces Unit, Delta Force, the 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta, or simply Delta Force. These are America's best of the best, the elite of the elite. Handpicked from the Army's most battle-hardened warriors, Rangers, Green Berets, and other top-tier special operations units. Only the most skilled, the most relentless, and the most unbreakable soldiers make the cut. Because Delta isn't just any unit, they are the tip of the spear. Their training is grueling. Their missions, classified. These men are forged through fire, masters of counterterrorism, hostage rescue, and precision warfare. They operate in the shadows, striking with surgical precision where others dare not tread. And unlike the Houthis, Delta doesn't fight in desperation. They fight with absolute dominance. Every movement is deliberate. Every bullet finds its mark. They don't just engage the enemy, they overwhelm them, ruthless in execution, unstoppable in force. And in Yemen, they wouldn't just be present, they would own the battlefield. Tactical superiority. The Houthis have mastered the art of unconventional warfare. They rely on ambushes, tunnel networks, and improvised explosive devices, IEDs, to outmaneuver and wear down their adversaries. Their tactics are designed to frustrate and disorient, turning the terrain itself into a weapon. Against conventional forces, these methods can be devastating. But against Delta, that's a death sentence. Before a single shot is fired, Delta Force already knows where the enemy is hiding. Every tunnel entrance, every ambush point, every roadside bomb, it's all mapped out in advance. They operate with intelligence-driven precision, leveraging real-time satellite imagery, high-altitude surveillance drones, and a network of local informants to paint a complete picture of the battlefield. Every move is calculated. Every decision is backed by data. For the enemy, there are no surprises, only an inevitable end. Delta's operators don't walk into traps. They dismantle them before they're even set. Their presence is an invisible hand guiding the battlefield, ensuring that when they strike, they do so with absolute dominance. No wasted motion, no hesitation, no room for failure. Nighttime dominance. The Houthis have one major weakness: they're not equipped for night warfare. Their fighters rely on daylight, their movements are sluggish in the dark, and their tactics crumble when visibility is stripped away. They don't own the night, but Delta owns the night. While the Houthis are sleeping or scrambling to organize in the pitch black, Delta Force is already inside their compound. Silent, lethal, unstoppable. Equipped with cutting-edge night vision, infrared optics, and suppressed weapons, Delta moves like ghosts in the darkness. Every step is calculated. Every target is acquired before the enemy even knows they're there. A guard hears a faint rustle before he can react. He's down. A sentry turns to check a shadow, only for that shadow to swallow him whole. By the time the alarm is raised, it's too late. Delta has already breached, secured, and eliminated the resistance. When the sun finally rises, the battle is already over. The compound is silent. The enemy, neutralized. Delta never fights fair, because in war, fair fights don't win battles. Precision, stealth, superiority. That wins wars. Air power, the great equalizer. The Houthis have built a reputation as formidable fighters, masters of guerrilla warfare, using the rugged terrain of Yemen as both shield and weapon. They move like shadows through the mountains, striking with precision, setting ambushes, and vanishing before counterattacks can even be mounted. Their survival hinges on the ability to blend into the landscape, to turn the earth itself into an impenetrable fortress. But what happens when the fight is no longer fought in the valleys and alleyways? No longer waged in the dense forests and caves? What happens when the battlefield is the sky, where there is no place to hide? Enter Delta Force. They don't just strike, they dominate. They don't just fight, they eradicate. And they don't just win battles, they reshape the entire definition of warfare. Long before the first shot is fired, the battle is already decided. Delta Force operates with a level of precision that defies traditional combat. Stealth drones prowl the skies, silent and unseen, locking onto targets before the enemy even realizes they are being watched. Advanced surveillance systems scan every crevice, every tunnel, every hidden bunker. High-powered thermal imaging exposes supply depots buried beneath layers of rock and steel. Even the most fortified positions are nothing more than coordinates on a digital map marked for annihilation. Then comes the storm. In a symphony of destruction, precision-guided missiles rain down from the heavens with unerring accuracy. Bunkers, command centers, anti-air batteries, all are reduced to dust before the first boots even touch the ground. Supply chains severed, communications jammed, escape routes cut off. What was once an impenetrable stronghold becomes a graveyard of fire and smoke. And then the real assault begins. By the time Delta Force operators land, there is no enemy to face. No hidden bunkers, no trenches lined with fighters ready to make a last stand. Just rubble and silence. The eerie void left behind after overwhelming force has swept through. What remains are remnants of an enemy that once thrived in chaos, now reduced to ash in the face of a war machine that allows no margin for survival. Delta Force does not engage in prolonged conflicts. They do not trade fire in drawn-out skirmishes. They end wars before they even start. The inevitable outcome. So what happens when an irregular force of rebels faces off against America's most elite warriors? The answer is brutally simple: overwhelming defeat. The Houthis may be fierce, battle-hardened, and relentless. They've waged war for years, fighting with whatever weapons they can scavenge, striking fear into lesser opponents. But against Delta Force, they are outmatched in every possible way. This isn't a conventional battle. It's not even a fair fight. This is total battlefield domination. Delta Force doesn't just engage the enemy, they annihilate them. They strike with precision, speed, and overwhelming firepower. Their tactics are refined through decades of high-stakes warfare. Their technology is cutting-edge, and their training is beyond anything the Houthis have ever encountered. Night vision, drones, satellite intel. America's elite warriors see the enemy before they even know they're being watched. The rebels are tough, no doubt, but toughness alone doesn't win wars. Superiority in strategy, firepower, and execution does. When Delta Force moves in, it's not just a mission, it's an unstoppable force meeting an unprepared opponent. This is the reality of modern warfare. Brutal, precise, unforgiving. Time and time again, America's special forces have shown that when they step onto the battlefield, they don't just fight, they dominate. Their missions are built on precision, strategy, and sheer force, making victory not just a possibility, but an expectation. From daring hostage rescues to high-stakes raids deep behind enemy lines, elite units like Delta Force have cemented their reputation as the ultimate warriors. And make no mistake, Delta Force doesn't fight fair, they fight to win. Their tactics are unconventional, their training is relentless, and their execution is flawless. If the Houthis or any adversary ever found themselves in their crosshairs, the outcome would be swift and decisive. This is warfare at its highest level, and only the best make it out alive. If you found this breakdown of military strategy fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of elite combat forces. We cover everything from special operations tactics to real-world battle scenarios. And now we turn it over to you. What military mission, special forces unit, or battle scenario should we analyze next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and we might just cover your idea in our next video. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one.